Hey guys, Kirby Smith, Lightspeed Construction, coming to you today here from Woodfin, NC, about a mile and a half from our office, which is right off of exit 21. If you guys know where the Domino's Pizza at New Stock Road is, that's us. But this property is about a mile from there, and this owner has had an unusual situation. He's had some wind that's actually blown across the length of his home, starting at here, wind coming in through the gable vent and pushing up and possibly pressurizing his roofing system to push some of the boards up. Needless to say, that's caused some damages to his shingles, and we've been out and chalked up this roof. This particular video is going to be accompanied by some photos, and we're most likely going to send this over to the insurance company who wants to make some repairs on this roof, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it, y'all. This is the area where the wind actually entered the premises through, and I'm hoping you guys can see this. Let's see if I can get in here. This gable vent right there, pressurized push boards. And so some of the first of this we see, it's going to be right here. You can see this section's actually raised up just a little bit. Let me see if I can get a little bit better look at that. And that certainly looks like what he's describing. He has said that he heard a screeching sound on the night of this particular event that was consistent with boards being raised up. And I personally see a dip up. I know the insurance has been out here. I'm not sure they got that document all that well. I've also got a nail that's beginning to pop out of this roof. I'm sure you guys can see. I don't want to disturb that because that certainly could and should be a roofing leak. We should be tarping that. But that's section number one. Board most likely raised up right here. We've got a couple of sections where there are nails that appeared to have pushed through the roof. You can see I've got an exposed nail right here pushed through the roof, but really no evidence of boards being lifted right there, right? Although right here, about 4 or 5 feet above, I've got the same phenomenon, kind of a shingle that's creased and beginning to blow off the roof, along with what I would describe as a level of maybe the boards lifting and raising on the roof, right? I see that here. And that's not to say that the boards are necessarily rotten or there's a problem. Just saying the boards might have actually pushed back, right? Sort of the same thing right here. You can see this shingle is starting to lift, and I don't really see any reason for that other than the fact that you can kind of get in there a little bit. You can see that shingle below is actually creased. That looks consistent. This creased shingle, you can see this right here below. The shingle below, that's going to be a board pushing up, right? Nothing else is really going to do that other than a board pushing that up, that crease in that shingle. Very unusual, very strange, but it happens from time to time, right? I'm gonna continue down the back side of this roof and just kind of touch on the other things that I've chalked up as well. I've got crease shingle right here, right? And is that a nail? No, that's some sort of something else. I think that's a nail. But creasing shingles right here as well. Creasing shingles right here. You can see my stripe right here, and it looks to be sort of the same thing where boards might have been split possibly or pushed up. I can see sort of a line right here. I don't know if that's apparent to you guys. Oh, crud, drop my tape measure. Always don't chase stuff off roofs, guys. There's your lesson for the day. I'm not chasing that tape measure going off the roof. But you can see kind of the boards are beginning to lift right here as well, right? That's one of the things I would assert. We've got a little bit of the same going on right here. I wrote the letter B. I've got the board kind of cupping up here. This could certainly have been pressurized and raised. And I'm gonna kind of flash over the rest of this roof back over it and just sort of kind of hit that same assertion where we're seeing some of those boards raised and some of the shingles getting damaged as well. This is where maybe the boards have the most of that going on, right? I've got one nail that's a framing nail, either gone or popped out, and a shingle nail right here that's exposed, and some shingles that are creasing. Oh, and another nail. This is a framing nail. It doesn't appear to be a roofing nail as well, right? That framing nail actually backing out. And needless to say, a creasing shingle right here as well on the back side of this roof. I'm gonna kind of ignore some of the shingles that are maybe sliding just a little bit. Those are certainly here and there. It could have been installed where they have a little bit of a gap or height issue. I'm not going to really pay that much attention to that. You can see a little bit of that going on right here. That could have been damaged possibly, or it could have been installed that way. I don't really know. But I've got creasing all up here, and one might say that it's certainly from the tarp, which it could be, right? I'm told that there's some damages and there's some leaks at this skylight. But then we've got creasing here as well. And sort of that same thing going on right here. That shingle's torn, but the shingle's also lower than the next row below it. And that's what I was just alluding to. Possibly sliding. You know, it could be from install, it could be from the boards raised. I'm not really sure on that, but hey, it's something, right? That's certainly worth noting. Possible boards raising here as well. Let's see if we can gently lift this and look under. Yeah, you can see where that framing nail, this framing nail right here, right, has either pulled out. I think that's pulled out and gone. It was originally a framing nail on this shingle. So I'm going to say that we've got a little bit of that going on as well. The other thing is that sliding shingles doesn't mean that it has to be damaged, but it certainly is an indication it could be damaged from other uses or cases, right? Got a crease right here as well. This is on the far left side of the roof, and what I might describe as boards beginning to lift here on this bottom left slope also. So that's just the back of the roof, and I'm gonna do a quick count and then start on the front of the roof. So I've got a board, a missing shingle, that's 1, 2. I've got a tarp right here, that's 3 locations of issue. Crease shingle right here, 4. Another crease shingle right here, that's 5. I've got a nail that's pulling out right there. I'm not going to count that as any sort of a storm damage. Probably just a nail that was originally pulling out. I don't see any board issue. I've got a board that's pulling up right here. That's 6. It's clearly pulling up. I've got location here, number 7 is, I've got maybe 3 nails that are pulling out with boards that appear to be lifting and a shingle creasing. So that's location number 7 that's of issue, right? I've got this board right here and the shingle that's creased, right? That's number 8. There's a shingle that's creased right here. This is number 9 with some sort of a nail issue there. I think that's a framing nail that's beginning to pull out. That's 9. Again, this is a nail that just appears to be popping, so I'm not going to count that. I've got a creased shingle with a nail that's beginning to pull out right here. That's number 10. The same thing. This is a board that maybe is lifting up, right? And shingles that are creased. That's number 11. And then I've got B and N that I marked here where the board is beginning to lift up just a little bit. Nail that's popping out. That's going to be number 12 on the back side of the roof. So I've got 12 locations on the back of the roof that certainly are arguable and very noteworthy that the boards are lifting possibly and the shingles are creasing. On the front, jumping in here real quick, I've got a nail that's exposed. That's certainly not any responsibility for any insurance company or possibly storm damage. I do have a board that's possibly lifting and a framing nail right here, right? So that may be one. Let's just not count that on the front, right? No big deal there. Some sort of a framing nail pulling out, okay. We've got a crease in one of the shingles right here, so that's going to be one. This appears to be some sort of a nail. I'm not going to mess with that shingle anymore. A nail that's probably pulling the shingle up just a little bit. I think this is solid right here. This is a board, most likely, that's begun to move just a little bit, and some sort of a face nail that just shouldn't have ever been there. But I do see the line of a board. I'm gonna count that as maybe location number 2 on the front. And I hope this is coming in good. It's kind of a dark, overcast day with maybe some moisture on the screen of the iPad. But anyway, hopefully it's coming in okay. This is number 3 on the front of the roof. This is, needless to say, a crease, wind damaged shingle, right? One next to it's creased and wind damaged as well. I've also got a crease over here on the far right slope of the front of the roof. Yeah, fairly consistent with, you know, wind damage to a shingle. So I believe I'm counting, if I'm not mistaken, 5 locations of damage on the front and 12 locations of damage on the back, and some of those being larger in scope and an issue. And if the boards in fact are moving, this would certainly warrant something that we don't want to try and patch the shingles over. We'd like to maybe strip the whole roof and you know, replace the roof and then re-nail or nail the boards back down that have been displaced by the storm. Anyways, guys, that's my video, and I appreciate you guys watching that very much. Have a good one. See you.